Hey, what is going on, guys? It's DK. Back at you with another video here to rate on the 6-game NBA main slate on Saturday. Before I get into the video, because you're new to the channel, welcome. My name's DK. I make daily videos and live stream for NBA and NFL slates on Draftkings. I'm now making videos for NBA Top Shot as well. Be on the lookout. I know I've been hinting at a bit. Top Shot content probably coming this weekend, guys. If you are unable to watch these YouTube videos, they're also upload on Apple Podcasts. I have a link down below. It's called the DKDFS Show. If you have interest in signing up for premium content, I offer that on Patreon.com, an esports package, which includes Call of Duty and CSGO. Again, we got CSGO slates every single day. We got Call of Duty slates usually 4 times a week. And then I offer an NBA package. I assume most of you guys are interested in NBA if you are watching this video. And then I do want to thank PrizePicks for sponsoring this episode. If you guys are not familiar with PrizePicks, the idea is they post fantasy projections for each player. And then you can either take the under or over, and these will move throughout the day. So if you see one that you like, you should hop on it right away. So let's see. They have 8 players posted for tomorrow. They'll have a lot more throughout the day. And yeah, it's a fun way to get different from DraftKings. So you're not playing against anyone. You're playing against the house. You can mix and match sports. They have every single sport you can think of. So if you guys want to try it out, you can sign up using the code DKDFS. DKDFS, all one word, link down below. You will get a 100% match up to $100. You put $100 in, you get $200 to play with. And finally, I just want to thank you guys for all of your support. Again, we're closing in on 9,000 subscribers on YouTube, basically averaging 300-400 viewers for each live stream. So if you guys do enjoy this content, leave a like button on the video, subscribe if you haven't already, and hit the notification bell so you know when I upload videos, live. Again, we'll be doing a YouTube live stream tomorrow, and let's aim for 150 likes. All right, you guys can kind of tell I'm a little bit out of breath, a little bit shaky. I will show you guys why. Let's get into the video. Before we talk about, again, players and the prices for this 6-game slate, we can look back lineup here from Friday. This close. This close. Oh, what a sweat. Oh, what a sweat, guys. So, turned $100 into almost $5K. Huge night, was this close to the 100K. This close. Also, I'll give you guys an update on best ball, which is at the bottom here. All right, so first, this is in the big 100K to first tourney. So I finished in 7th. Also had a fellow Patreon member finish right above me. Actually beat me with almost the identical lineup. He used, Okongo and Tatum instead of... I had Ja. He didn't have Ja. Oh, wait. Or who did he not have? He had Ja, John Wall, Nurkic, Draymond. Okay, so he didn't have Paul George. Okay, so it was basically a 2v2 swap. But got to tilt the Davis Bertans. Low-owned. Well, first of all, this is what I got to say. This is why I don't play score-independent players. Cost me a takedown and 3 fouls in the first 8 minutes. Really, if he doesn't get in foul trouble in the first half, I probably take down. Also, was debating Roby over Bertans. Should have done it. This is why I don't play score independent players. If I go Roby, he had 36 instead of Bertans at 16, I'd run away with this. But yeah, the rest of my lineup was Neto, Paul George, Oubre, Bertans, Nurkic, John Wall, Draymond Green, and Ja Morant. I'll go other ways so you guys can see. I actually should have put on my Nurkic shirt. I didn't even think about it. I'll wear it for the live stream tomorrow. But Nurkic, core play, he absolutely smashed at low ownership. 60 fancy points. That was massive. Again, use Roll Neto for value just because he was starting. He was close to mid-price, and he was, I thought he would play over 30 minutes. He was really good. Paul George, again, with no Kawhi Leonard, hinted he was one of my favorite spend-ups. I used Oubre. I didn't really feel great about it, but he came through for me. Kelly Oubre in a massive way, 46 fancy points. Davis Bertans, again, not great. Not great, foul trouble, and then 12 points, 2 boards. Ugh. It hurts. It hurts, but I can't really complain. Again, it was a massive night. Nurkic talked him up a lot. Again, my favorite center play went absolutely off. Told you guys John Wall was one of my favorite GPP plays. Came in at super low ownership, 56 fancy points. And Draymond Green finally got right. I told you guys I'm just going to keep playing him until he goes off. And he finally had Can we take a look at the stat line? 2 points, 19 assists, and 12 boards. And if you play Draymond, he had like a couple steals. Like they kept taking steals away from him. He had like 2 or 3 steals at one point, and then it goes down to 0 somehow. I'm like, I don't know how that worked. And then again, Ja Morant hinted I was playing Ja and Ja Morant. Talked about that in the Patreon live stream to get different. I'm like, hey, I thought, I went over what the optimal build was. I thought the optimal build was Westbrook, Paul George, Tatum with the value like Neto, like a Congo. But I told everyone, I was like, hey, I'm getting a little bit different. I have faith in some of these guys that are a little bit cheaper that I think they can get close to the stars, like Wall, like Morant, like a Yusuf Nurkic, and they did. So, yeah, huge night. Again, was 8 points away from first, and congrats to Mike. He also puts out some content there on Twitter. Me and him had a close race. Congrats on the third place finish for 10 grand. He had a pretty similar lineup. He had Maladon and Wiggins and Roby, basically a 3v3 swap from mine. Oh, and Westbrook too. So, but yeah, pretty similar. He had Ja. We're both Ja diehard fans. I know he's been playing Ja a lot. So it finally came through in a massive way for us. And then, yeah, he played Wiggins instead of Oubre. But yeah, a pretty similar build. And then in the, this is in the $88 tournament. Like, how do I finish third in a tournament that has 500 entries, and I finished 7th in one that has 20,000? It's like, really? So this is the winning lineup in this one. Yeah, pretty close. He had Jeff Green, DeAndre Jordan in a big game, and he used Tatum. And then finally, I want to give you guys an update on best ball. So right now in the lead, even without Capella playing, I was like, Capella didn't play. I was like, oh man, I'm nervous. Because second place guy has Westbrook and Jason Tatum. And it just set up perfectly for him. Everyone is out for Boston. Great match for Tatum. Tatum went off. Westbrook went off. But luckily, Ja Morant got close to matching Westbrook. Kyrie got close to matching Tatum. So we will see. Praying Capella can play Sunday. If Capella does play Sunday, I think I'm in really good shape. If Capella sits again, then it's going to be really, really close. So that is it for the look back on Friday's slate. Again, you can tell I'm a little bit out of breath, a little bit shaky. It was a sweat. I know a lot of you guys had huge nights, a lot of you in the Discord. I'm going to start retweeting stuff after these videos, but figured out I would try to get this out first and then go back to Twitter and congratulate everyone on the big nights. All right, so let's go over this here. I should probably have NBA up. We have two. Oh wait, that is not NBA. There is an early slate. I won't be talking about this on this YouTube video. If you're on Patreon, I'll have a video up for that. But all right, so we have 3 of the 6 games out right now. Spurs and Pelicans at 228 over under. The Spurs 2-point favorites. Bulls and Heat at 210 over under. The Heat 5-point favorites, and the Timberwolves and the Jazz a 233 over under. But the Jazz 13.5-point favorites. All right, so let's start off with Detroit and the Pacers. So on the Detroit side, there's actually a couple guys that I think look intriguing. So Grant, Corey Joseph, both probable. I expect everyone to go. Start with Mason Plumlee. And the reason I like him is this last game against Dallas, he played 32 minutes and he fouled out. Now, I don't think we get, 32 again from Mason Plumlee, but Plumlee's a good point per minute guy. And if we get like 25 to 30 minutes in this matchup against the Pacers, who are missing like all their bigs, sign me up. So I do kind of like Mason Plumlee. Corey Joseph at 5-1. Besides this game against the Clippers, to basically throw out 30, 32, 33, and 36 minutes. So he's playing big minutes in the games he plays. Assume he plays in this one. Again, I like the matchup. So Corey Joseph at this price I think is solid. And even Jeremy Grant, a guy I don't love playing because he's kind of score independent. But hey, like I said, this is a game I think you could definitely stack. So Grant, Corey Joseph, and Mason Plumlee, really the veterans and where I'm looking to on the Pistons. Guys, the young guys like Stewart, Jackson, Bay are kind of priced up for one of those veterans rested. I actually have more interest in the veterans in this game. So those are the 3 I'm really looking to on the Detroit side. Moving on to the Pacers. So what we know, no Sabonis, no Turner, Lamb questionable, Goga questionable, Doug McDermott questionable. We'll start with Brogdon and LeVert. So Malcolm Brogdon is at 8.3K. He played 39 minutes the last game. Not scared of Detroit defensively. He is going to be, him and LeVert are going to be the clear number 1 and number 2 on offense. I think Malcolm Brogdon is one of the best plays of the slate. And even LeVert, again, they ran like an 8-man rotation the last game. So assuming all the guys that are questionable are out again, you're definitely going to want some Pacers exposure. Brogdon, LeVert look really, really good. Other options for the Pacers. So assuming everyone that's questionable is out, O'Shea Brissett started, played 42 minutes. Now, Jakar Sampson is available in this one, so I don't think Brissett plays 42 again, but assuming he starts the 5, I like him for value. Again, Sampson is the flat min price. He's available after his 1-game suspension. Again, assuming everyone that's questionable is out, Sampson probably will get some decent run. If he starts, would like him for value. Sumner probably gets mid-20s minutes, a fair value play, assuming everyone's out. Now, if guys like, if Goga is in, then I'm not as excited about those value bigs. And if Goga plays and starts, I would like him. It's a little bit hard to say right now for the Pacers, but really the 2 guys at the top and then the value bigs depending on some injuries. All right, so Chicago and Miami. So Nikola Vucevic at the top at 10-2, definitely a viable contrarian play. Don't love the matchup here, though, against the Heat. Kobe White, I think, is a pretty good play in the mid-range. Should play about 30 minutes. And, if no Levine does get a pretty big bump. So do like Kobe White there. Other options for Chicago. So Patrick Williams, probable. Again, I guess, playable. Daniel Tice at 4K. So he's been hovering in the mid-20s minutes. He's a decent point per guy. I think he's a pretty solid value play. And then Garrett Temple's at 3.8K. He's been playing, 25-ish minutes. Probably starts again, but a low-usage guy. That's what I'm looking for Chicago. Mainly, I would say Kobe White, I think, is my favorite play. On the Miami side, it's Jimmy and Bam. No party plays here, but good matchups. Those 2, I think, look pretty solid. Jimmy Butler, revenge game here, if you're into that. Again, should play big minutes. Has a triple-double upside, so like him. I have interest in Bam, too. Don't know if we get to anyone else. I think Kendrick Nunn actually had a pretty big game today. Yeah, 31 fancy points in 34 minutes, but more of a secondary option for me. All right, moving on to San Antonio and New Orleans. So DeRozan and Rudy Gay both questionable. If they're both out, then I think DeJounte Murray becomes a pretty good play at 7.2K. Will probably be the number 1 on offense in an up-tempo game. So would like DeJounte Murray a good amount. Would like Derek White, who had a massive game for me the last slate. So those 2, I think, would be 2 of the better plays for the San Antonio Spurs. Jakob Poeltl is kind of a fair play. I'll be able at 30 minutes. And then Lonnie Walker, if he starts, I think would be someone we could go to for value. Now, if DeRozan and Rudy Gay are both in, then it's probably just DeRozan and Murray for me, and DeRozan being the safe option, Murray being more of the GPP play. All right, on the Pelicans, Zion Williamson now is above 10K, but I still think he's in play. Again, he was on pace for a massive game, and I played in that last slate, and the game was a huge blowout, so only played 23 minutes, but he did have 35 fantasy points in that time. I think he will be a little bit lower owned, but still in play as a spend up. Ingram a little bit too pricey for me. Lonzo, if there's still a minute limit, I'm probably not going to get to him. Scrolling down a bit, where we could get some value here is Steven Adams. Steven Adams currently questionable. If he misses, then I do like Hernan Gomez, Jackson Hayes. They'll split the 7 minutes. I think both. You could honestly use both. Hernan Gomez, probably a slightly better point per minute guy, probably the better offensive player. But Jackson Hayes, assuming he starts, probably plays a little bit more. Either way, again, if there's no Adams, I like both a lot for value. All right, Lakers and Mavs. So Anthony Davis is in, but not projected to play a ton, so I'm not going to go there. Drummond, it's just, again, he's so frustrating. Like, he can take over games at times, but also super low floor. I think he's always a good GPP play because the ceiling is there. Dennis Schroeder's the guy I feel the most comfortable with, just because he'll play the biggest minute or the most minutes, and he has, the floor, the assists. So Schroeder, I think, is a pretty safe play in the mid-range, and I don't know if we get to anyone else in the Lakers, to be honest. If KCP misses, possibly, maybe like THT if he moves in the starting lineup, but really main interest is Drummond there for GPPs and Schroeder in the mid-range. On the Dallas Mavs side, Luka Doncic, I think, is one of the safer spend-ups at the top, especially if Porzingis is out. Just has a pretty high floor, triple-double upside. Luka, pretty safe play. Porzingis, if he plays, a fine contrarian option. If Porzingis misses, then I'm curious to see what they do with the starting lineup. Maxi Kleber, also questionable. Willie Cauley-Stein did come in and play 31 minutes the last game, so, I would guess he would pick up the start if Porzingis is out. So, if he does, he'd become a good value play. My worry with Dallas is I never trust Carlisle on the secondary options. Plus the fact that they have 5 bigs, right? So they have Kleber, Powell, Willie Cauley-Stein, Boban, Melly. They have a lot of guys they can use. So monitor this, but definitely some possible value here. And then Brunson only played 21 minutes after playing close to 30 in previous games. Not sure what happened there. Again, it just is hard to trust the Dallas secondary option. But if there is no Porzingis, I think Brunson is viable for sure. Minnesota and Utah. So Karl-Anthony Towns is a contrarian sped up in play. Will be very, very low owned. Don't hate him to get different. I don't know if we get to anyone else. The only other guy I mentioned, I think, is Ricky Rubio. He's played about 30 minutes in the last couple of games. Sure, it's not the best matchup, but he does have the floor of the peripheral stats. And yeah, Naz Reid, too, I will give a mention to. He's been good off the bench. A solid point per minute guy. Don't expect like 40 again from him, but if he's going to play about 20 minutes, he can go out and get you like 20 fancy points. All right, the Utah side. Really, really high in Utah. My only concern is potential for a blowout, but Conley, Ingles, Clarkson, 3 of the best plays of the slate in my opinion. Again, love Conley. Should play over 30 minutes. 30 to 35, I would say, in a close game. Again, gets a massive boost with no Mitchell. God, you guys can tell I'm just so shaky right now. But yeah, Conley, Joe Ingles, I think are pretty good plays at their respective prices. Jordan Clarkson at 6'5 is in play off the bench, more of the GPP play because he is more reliant on the scoring. But those three I think look pretty good. Bojan, always a viable, tournament play, but more reliant on the scoring. Royce O'Neal is a decent value option. Should play over 30 minutes and a guy that can stuff the stat sheet. Finally, Houston and Denver. So this one could get interesting because what we know is John Wall's out, Kevin Porter Jr. is out, Gordon's out, Sterling Brown's out, and Christian Wood might not play. Doesn't expect to play. So, what are they going to do with the starting lineup? This is a team we can definitely get some value. So, Kelly Olynyk at 6'7 is probably going to be the number one on offense. Sure, the matchup's not the best, but do have some interest there. And then, let's go down to the value first. So, whereas Amar'e Brooks is 3.8K, I assume he starts the point guard. I assume he plays 30 plus minutes. I think he's one of the best values of the slate. And then whoever starts for Christian Wood, my guess is it's Kenyon Martin Jr. If he does start, really like him for value. They also have DJ Wilson they can dust off for some run. He's at min price. Houston is thin. House did play, but only played off the bench for 21 minutes. See what they do with the starting lineup. But yeah, Olynyk at the top, Amar'e Brooks, Kenny Martin Jr. You can even make the argument for Jayshawn Tate. Really have interest in anyone in Houston because they're so short-handed. I'm curious to see how many healthy bodies they actually have. They might only have 8 healthy bodies. So Houston's definitely a team you're going to want some interest in. Finally, Denver. So definitely some blowout risk here, but Will Barton, don't expect him to play in this one. He got injured tonight. Unfortunately, if he played him, obviously no Jamal Murray. So Jokic at the top does get a slight boost in my opinion. Should play big minutes as long as the game stays competitive. So really do like Jokic. And the only concern is the blowout risk. MPJ at 8K. Don't love the price. Would rather get to Jokic. Aaron Gordon at 5'5". How many minutes did he play tonight? Let me see. The issue with Aaron Gordon is it's just been the minutes recently. So he played only 27 still. So again, Pozo played 32. Dozier got the big boost. He played 30 off the bench. Once Barton went down, Dozier came in. So yeah, Gordon, more of just a secondary option, still viable, but I think PJ Dozier, assuming he starts, becomes a really good value play if we're going to get over 30 minutes from him. Again, Campozo at 4-5 played over 30, so those two I think look pretty solid for value. Maybe JaMychal Green gets a little bit more run. I'm curious to see what they do with the starting lineup, but Denver's definitely a team I want some interest in as well. But that is going to do it for the video today, guys. So if you have been enjoying the content so far, I would really appreciate it if you leave a like button on the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit the notification bell so you don't upload videos live. Again, I will be doing the YouTube live stream tomorrow. Make sure to check it out. Thanks again. Have a great night, guys, and I'll see you all tomorrow in the live stream.